It's a brand new lineup on 5 News, live from Downing Street. Here's Dan Walker and Claudia-Liza.
Good evening, I'm Dan Walker. Welcome to a 5 News special live from Downing Street as Tory MPs decide if it's time to get rid of their boss.
The threshold of 15% of the parliamentary party seeking a vote of confidence in the Prime Minister has been passed. Therefore, a vote of confidence will take place.
We don't know how many MPs want him to go, but we do know at least 54 sent letters to trigger the vote, and now the Prime Minister's leadership depends on a secret ballot that will take place in the next few hours. Throughout the show, we'll be hearing from Boris Johnson's supporters, from some of the rebels, and from you as you've been watching this roller coaster around the country.
I think it's time that he went.
Time that he went?
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
You can contact us directly tonight. The 5 phone is up and running. WhatsApp us on this number 07555 500 501 and let us know what you think.
From across the UK, this is 5 News.
Hello, we are live outside number 10 Downing Street for you tonight. As you can see, the bunting is still very much up, but it's not exactly a party atmosphere for the Prime Minister at the moment. His fate will be decided by his own MPs this evening. They're going to be holding a secret ballot on whether to keep him or to kick him out. And the vote of confidence was finally triggered after enough MPs sent in letters to party bosses to actually demand one. Many of them are talking about the fact they're still angry at Partygate and what that has done to not only him but also the party's reputation. Well, this afternoon Boris Johnson's actually been addressing some of those MPs privately, urging them to back him. One last chance, I suppose you could say, to save his skin. Let's bring in our political editor Andy Bell, who, like many people around here today, has had a very busy day. So what did he say to his own MPs, Andy, and how did it go down?
Well, Dan, for the last hour, as you say, Boris Johnson has been over in the House of Commons making that last-ditch appeal to Conservative MPs. They hold his fate in their hands. We're told that when he turned up, people could hear that there was some cheering, some clapping, some banging of tables.
And Andy's going to be with us throughout the programme today. And how's this for a stat for you? Tomorrow it will be exactly 3 years to the day since Theresa May officially resigned as Conservative leader. You might remember seeing her outside the door of number 10. That paved the way for Boris Johnson to take over and lead the party to a landslide election victory. And for a while, everything was going well. And then it wasn't. Our chief correspondent, Tessa Chapman, has been looking at what went wrong. Well, Tessa is live for us now in Central Lobby, about a 5-minute walk from where we are at number 10. And Tessa, I imagine there have been quite a few last-minute conversations with that vote coming up.
Hi Dan, yeah, I think so. And WhatsApps and phone conversations and chats in hushed corners. Hundreds of Conservative MPs have made their way back from their constituencies after recess and then the festivities this weekend.
It's going to be a fascinating next few hours, Tessa. Thank you very much for that. Well, it's a big deal here at the heart of Westminster. Take a look at some of the media who've been camped out here outside number 10, like us as well, throughout the day, and will be here into the evening too, presenting their bulletins and giving their opinions as well. But we would love to hear your opinions tonight. Please do get in contact with us. I've actually been trusted with, wait for it, the 5 phone tonight for the first time. I've been allowed to take it out of the studio. I'm not entirely sure of the number, so I've written it down on my hand to make sure I don't forget it. Here's the question for you. Do you have the confidence in the Prime Minister? Do you think it's right his leadership is being challenged, or should he just be left to get on with the job? You can WhatsApp us on this number 07555 500 501 and tell us what you think. You can also contact us on Twitter, on Facebook and on Instagram, and I'll be taking a look at some of those messages a little later in the show for you. Before we get to that, let's speak to Peter Lane. Peter's actually spent the day in Blackpool. And how's the news gone down there, Peter? About 240 miles north of what we normally refer to here as the Westminster bubble. Well, that's a picture in Blackpool. Andy's joined us back outside here at number 10. If you just switched on, it's coming up to 5:15 and there's going to be a vote of confidence in the Prime Minister taking place sometime between 6 and 8 tonight. Andy, logistically, how does it actually work and what will the timings be beyond that?
Well, as you say, in about 45 minutes' time, MPs can start to vote at 6 o'clock. They have 2 hours to go up to a committee room over in the House of Commons. If there is any way legitimately he can hang on after this ballot tonight, he will do so. He will fight to stay in number 10.
OK, I think you and many others have got a very busy night ahead. I can feel the 5 phone buzzing away in my hand as well, so thank you for getting in contact with us. We're going to be here throughout the evening and throughout this hour as well for you with developments on what has been a really busy day.
Indeed, but there's lots more other news tonight, including misery for thousands stuck abroad in travel chaos. Flights cancelled, families stuck in airports, and we're being warned it won't improve anytime soon. And of course, Claire's got the weather.
Some unseasonably strong winds as we head through the latter part of the working week. For the next 24 hours, some showers, some sunshine tomorrow as well. I'll bring you all the details in a while.
If you're interested, grey skies here in Downing Street. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back. This is 5 News live from Downing Street for you tonight. We've got used to Boris Johnson being the resident of this house behind me, number 10. This was him earlier on today with the Estonian Prime Minister. But for how much longer will this place be his home? It's now less than 40 minutes until that vote of confidence begins, as Conservative MPs decide whether to keep him as the leader of the party. Well, joining us now, live on 5, is Brandon Lewis, MP for Great Yarmouth and Secretary of State for Northern Ireland. Mr. Lewis, it's really good to get you on the programme. In my previous life, I've spoken to you on many occasions when you've been firmly supporting the Prime Minister. What do you see in him that many of your fellow MPs don't? Brandon Lewis, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us live on 5 News. We're going to go back to the studio for you now. CL is there with some of the day's other headlines.
Thanks, Dan. We'll be back at number 10 a little later in the programme. But for now, thousands of people on holiday are still stuck overseas as the travel chaos drags on. Plans over half-term and the Jubilee weekend have been hit by delays and cancelled flights. Ministers have been meeting travel bosses to make sure things are sorted in time for the busy summer season. Alan Jenkins has spent the day at Edinburgh Airport. In other news tonight, the UK is to send its first long-range missile to Ukraine. The missiles will bolster Ukrainian soldiers' defence against Russia's invasion. They'll be trained in how to use them here in the UK. A British man has been sentenced to 15 years in an Iraqi prison for attempting to take historical artefacts out of the country. Jim Fitton collected stones and shards of broken pottery as souvenirs. He was arrested at Baghdad airport in March. And the number of monkeypox cases recorded in the UK has now passed 300. Another 77 cases have been confirmed by health officials, the vast majority in England. OK, now a really tough story. A hearing's taking place at the High Court to do with a 12-year-old boy. His family is locked in a dispute about his life support treatment. Archie Battersby suffered brain damage in April. His doctors believe there's no point continuing his life support. However, his family strongly disagree. Catherine Ash is there for us now. Good evening to you, Catherine. And just to, first of all, just talk us through the background to this really difficult case. OK, Catherine Ash from the High Court, thank you. OK, after the break, we'll have more from Dan and the team in Downing Street. And was he the highlight of the Jubilee? The Prince, who entertained thousands at the weekend for all the wrong reasons, some might say. Find out what a parenting expert thinks. Quick look at the weather now, though. See you after the break.
Breathe easy, day and night. Weather on Channel 5, sponsored by Sterimark Breathe Easy Daily Nasal Spray.
Hello there. Showers tomorrow across England and Wales and Northern Ireland, but some brighter skies as well and some drier weather, easing somewhat through the middle part of the week. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
The Pollen Report on Channel 5, sponsored by Sterimark Hay Fever and Allergy Relief.
Hello, I'm Dan Walker. You're watching 5 News tonight. We are live from Downing Street. It's just gone 5:30, and if you're just tuning in, we are awaiting a critical vote on the Prime Minister's leadership this evening. Conservative MPs will hold that vote in Westminster in half an hour's time. You can tell it's a big story. The news chopper is out. Are they going to decide whether he should stay or go? The Conservatives have 359 MPs in Parliament. If 180 of those or more vote in favour of the Prime Minister tonight, then he stays. But if he can't muster that support, he'll have to resign, and there will be a leadership election. My first time, as I mentioned, on the 5 phone, and it has been going crazy today. Thank you for all those who've got in contact. Let's have a look through some of these. Peter says, Johnson is the worst Prime Minister ever in British history. He must go, along with the front bench. Tories will never get my vote if they continue with him. Marie in Cheshire, thank you, Marie, for your message. He should go, she says. My 58-year-old sister died alone in hospital as that was the rules. I will never forgive him. David from Walsall, interesting take from David. He says, look at the mistake that they made getting rid of Maggie Thatcher. Stick with Boris, says David. He's made mistakes, but he's done more good than bad. Rosemary in the Isle of Man calls it a storm in a teacup, and she says, move on. Jeremy in Torquay, Boris is not fit for any public office. He should be sacked and removed as an MP as well. And this person describes themselves as an ex-Tory voter in Leamington Spa. If Boris is the best the Tories can offer, it's time for him and his party to go. Thank you to everybody who's got in contact with those tonight. Andy Bell is still here listening to that, and Boris Johnson has been listening to his own MPs, and that meeting, is that right, it's finished now? Okay, it's going to be a fascinating few hours. Andy, for the moment, I know we're going to see you towards the end of the programme. We'll be back before the end of the show, but now it's back to CL. CL, if you need the 5 phone number, I've now memorised it, but I've written it down there for you. There you go.
Thanks, Dan.
07 555 apparently, and then some other 5s.
I'd like that 5 phone back eventually, but for now, thanks, Dan. Going to take a look at some more headlines now, and thousands of workers are taking part in a trial for a 4-day week. Now, more than 3,000 staff at 70 companies are involved in industries ranging from banking to care to retail. Workers will get paid their full salary for 80% of the hours. It's to see if people's well-being can be improved without harming productivity. And Wales star Gareth Bale says the country's journey to the World Cup has been crazy. He helped the team qualify for the first World Cup since 1958 when they beat Ukraine in Cardiff last night. Oh, congrats, guys. Now, let's return to the Jubilee weekend and the person some say stole the show. No, not the Queen, but her great-grandson, Prince Louis. Now, pretty much every time William and Kate's youngest child popped up at the celebrations, he was either making faces, covering his ears, or even covering his mum's mouth. So we thought there's no better time to get in a parenting expert. I'm so delighted to say that. Joining us now as presenter of Channel 5's Toddlers Behaving Very Badly is Laura Amy's. Laura, so good to have you. Watching at home, my teenage daughter said Louis gave her life. What did you make of his antics over the weekend? I think Princess Kate did the right thing. Just let the boy be free, let him live. Laura Amy, so good talking to you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to take a short break, but we have got a Jurassic-sized story. Yes, the stars of the classic original movie have returned for a new film, and Steve's been catching up with leading lady Laura Dern. See you after the break. Welcome back. Now, can you believe it? It is nearly 30 years since Jurassic Park broke new ground in cinema and set box office records as well. Now, since then, things have moved on a bit, whether that's the visual effects, scientific discoveries, or the storyline itself. And this week sees the release of Jurassic World Dominion, where this time dinosaurs live and hunt alongside humans. Now, it's also the first time all the main cast appear together since the very first film. Well, Steve Hargrave caught up with one of them, Laura Dern. I remember seeing the original in cinemas 30 years ago. Cannot wait to see this one. But the blockbuster news of the day has to be what's going on in Downing Street. So let's go back to Dan, shall we? And Dan, have to say, haven't had the chance to say it's been so busy. Welcome to 5 News. And what a first day we send you to Downing Street.
Yeah, I'm just trying to avoid you in the studio, if I'm honest here. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, nothing like a quiet start. If you've just switched on, thanks for being with us. We spent the whole show down here in Westminster. As CL's been saying, there's a vote of confidence in the Prime Minister will take place sometime between 6 and 8 tonight. Our political editor, Andy Bell, has been very busy today, been here throughout the show as well. And essentially, this is a chance, isn't it, for Tory MPs to decide whether they think the current Prime Minister can win them the next general election. So it's going to be really interesting to watch, isn't it, the next few hours or so. Andy, thank you very much. What a packed programme. Don't forget, we will have updates for you throughout the evening on Channel 5. The next one is at 5 to 8. We'll see you tomorrow. at 5 on 5. We might be live from here again. Who knows? We might be back in the studio. I imagine all that depends on what's going to happen here in the next few hours or so. It could be a long night. Thank you so much for watching from all of us here at Downing Street. We'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Breathe easy and take on the day. Weather on Channel 5, sponsored by Sterimark Breathe Easy Daily Nasal Spray.